Hello everyone. I decided to come out biking again today and thought I'd take you with me. I got some pretty positive feedback last time and I figured maybe people enjoy watching me rant and rave while I'm out here on the trails. But I would have done this a lot sooner, but it rained for like several days straight. It just rained and rained. I thought we were gonna have to build a raft out of our neighbor's furniture. But yeah, I decided to come out here and relieve myself of some pet peeves with you. At least one right now, and that is aggressive artists. I know a lot of you are probably familiar with what I'm talking about. As a fan of arts and entertainment and such, I've noticed that this trend didn't die down after the election. Usually it all ramps up, people get really emotional and they say things that they probably didn't mean, that kind of stuff. And then it all dies away and doesn't ramp up for another 3 years, till the next election. But this time that's not the case. Seems to only be getting worse, especially with entertainers. It's like their feelings, they really feel like their feelings make them experts on politics. And which, personally I think is ridiculous. But they'll find propaganda that they push, and I think a lot of times it's just stuff that makes them feel really angry or really livid or sad. And it's like the stronger that these negative feelings are, the more likely they are to spread the propaganda, regardless of whether or not it's true. So, I personally don't like to bring up politics on my channel. You won't see me going ape shit here or on Twitter or anywhere else. On these, I don't know, what would you call it? I guess these rants, these apoplectic rants. Yeah, just like these angry rants. You're not going to see that on my channel. I do like to give my opinion, but I don't believe in name calling or belittling people's beliefs and stuff like that in order to make a point. I don't think that helps you in any way whatsoever to make a point. And yeah, I could say the same thing about the far right. I'm talking about the far left right now, but I could say the same thing about the far right. Nobody wants to be red-pilled on Thanksgiving or Christmas, okay? So there. Let's just make it even. So anyway, I've always looked up to a lot of these entertainers, as far as what their talent, how their talents and skills are. But these are artists, and artists are very emotional. I can attest to that. At some point I did grow up. I had to grow up. And it's like, I knew I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life playing solo folk rock music and going to poetry slams on the weekends, Like I said, there was a point in time when I grew up and I said, I've got to start acting emotionally like an adult. But, yeah, and sometimes I do wonder, what would have happened if I had been discovered when I was 17? I'm pretty certain that I wouldn't be the same person I am today. And mainly, I think a lot of that has to do with, in the entertainment industry, erratic behavior is pretty much expected. What they say, even bad publicity is good publicity. Even bad behavior sells faster than proper behavior does. And we all know that. That's common sense. So, it just kind of makes me wonder what kind of a person I would be today. Would I be, I know I wouldn't go as far as the Miley Cyrus thing. Oh, that's gross. But, but yeah, would I be a wild and crazy girl? Or, I already think I am, but anyway, yeah, that was just the little complaint that I had, I guess, as far as that goes. And I think that a lot of these entertainers are kind of making themselves, like they're alienating themselves. They're making themselves feel like angry and sad and lonely. And it's like if you don't feel the same way that they do, then there's something wrong with you. Like you're messed up in the head. If you aren't out in the streets crying on your knees, you know, honking horns and waving dildos at people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they act like there's something wrong with you if you don't act that way, and that's just insane, in my opinion. I mean, I don't, even when I had the purple hair and the leather jackets and all that, I never thought that way. Like, I was more in the business of insulting people. You know, it didn't make a business out of it, but, you know, it was more thrilling for me to just, like, you know, like the whole Alice Cooper and Kiss thing, you know, Marilyn Manson, you know, getting a rise out of people, you know, by shocking them, you know, like shock rock and stuff like that. You know, I never in a million years would have thought that I'm gonna go and sit on the White House lawn and cry to the world because they mistreated me because I'm a woman or something like that. Like, that is just beyond me. I haven't the faintest idea how people get that way. And some of these people are older than me, or my age, or, like I said, older than me, and I'm not young, you know? So it's kind of embarrassing, you know, because I consider myself a classical liberal, like several other people I admire out there. So yeah, it sucks to see the people who I was rallying with for free speech and all that are now the ones who are turning around trying to take speech away from other people. And I'm like, seriously? How did this happen? Anyway, excuse me. So recently I saw something about some rapper. I don't know who this guy is, and I really couldn't care less. He had brought up some little white girl onto the stage, and you know, she just totally adored this guy, and apparently knew all of his songs and all the lyrics. And this man tricked this little girl into saying the N-word because it was in the lyrics of the music that he wrote that she so admired. And the thing is when he called her out, he had the whole entire audience at the concert booing this maybe 14 to 16-year-old girl. And I mean, you know, on so many levels this was wrong. And it shows a lot of things about society here. He was trying to show how privileged, I guess. I'm not sure what his point really was, but whatever it was, I mean, I'm sure that her parents aren't too happy that, you know, they bought all this music, all these posters and t-shirts and concert tickets and stuff like that. And all that stuff that they paid for their daughter to enjoy, probably paid for one of the shoes that man was wearing while he insulted and humiliated their daughter on stage virtually in front of the world. And if that's not wrong, if that's not sick in the head, I don't know what is. I honestly don't. I mean, that is sick. And, you know, and what's even worse, like I said, it's on so many levels, that like chickens in a chicken coop, when one chicken sees another chicken's bleeding, when they see blood, they go pecking away and they peck that thing to death and they will eat it. Okay? They will peck that thing to death, and sometimes they will cannibalize that other bird. And that's exactly what we saw, was a bunch of cannibal chickens out there in that freaking audience. And, you know, I hate to say it because I know that a lot of these people in the audience were kids. They were children. But this is stuff that they're actually now being taught, and some of these kids are going to take that with them, and that's going to be like a lens that they look through the world with. And, you know, I think that things need to be said and not run from. You know, like, people need to address these kind of situations. out in the mainstream, just talking about it, discussions, philosophical, honest discussions with one another about what the heck is going on in society, because, man, people are crazy, and it's becoming mainstream, and it's worrying me. And, going back to all the aggressive artists, I took the George Carlin approach. I said, you know what? None of these people are worth my time, worth my resources, worth any effort whatsoever for me to go out there, stand in line, spend the gas money and the time and everything else to stand in line with a bunch of super passionate people on both sides, just so I can vote for somebody I don't give a crap about. And so it's like, yeah, I'm straddling the right and the center. I don't fall to either side as far as almost everything's concerned. But even despite that, I feel like when I get on Twitter, almost every day I see some of my my entertainment idols, whatever, people that I enjoy, people who I thought were good people, and they probably are. I probably would get along really well with them under other circumstances. But I hate to sound like a snowflake, but it freaking hurts my feelings sometimes to see these people not only taking other people down and trying to destroy them, but destroying themselves in the process. Okay? When these artists make their music, they act, they do these things, it comes from their soul. And that's what people connect with, is that the art that you create from your soul, not this stuff that's created from hatred. Nobody wants to connect with that. Nobody healthy anyway, as far as I can tell. I might be wrong. I might be the one who's got problems. Let me know in the comments, because I'd like to know if I'm the only one who feels this way, because I certainly doubt it. Anyway, that's my venting for right now, and if I've got enough time, maybe, I might throw something else in here later. Alright, ta-ta.